Hello artists, welcome to our Pastels on Canvas abstract art class. Today you should have in front of you your canvas, long ways like so, a roll of tape, and your pastels. They are the color of the rainbow, so you'll have a red one, an orange one, a yellow one, a green one, a blue one, and a purple one. If you've never used pastels before, they're pretty similar to crowns, but just a little bit waxier. So you can kind of manipulate them and work them on your canvas a little bit more and smoothing them out. You'll see later on when we go in there and fill up our canvas space how you can definitely soften your pastels a little bit easier than crayons. So the first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna use our tape, and this is absolutely up to you how you want it to tape your canvas, but we're gonna do it 5 times when we go from one side to the other and attach a piece of tape, and then we'll do it twice, 3 times, 4 times, and then a 5th time. So we're gonna be using 5 strips of tape and going from one side to the other each time. Again, it's absolutely up to you. You are going to be going in there with your pastels later on and coloring inside the shapes that are still exposed and not covering up with tape. But again, it's absolutely up to you how you want to tape up your canvas. So the best way to go about it is first choose where you want to go across. So I'm going to start up here and then just bring my tape down here. So I'll take a piece of tape and I'll just kind of wrap it around the back part of my canvas. Just be sure that it's overlapping this part. And I will just kind of pull on my tape a little bit and then cut like so, making sure that there is enough to wrap around the side of my canvas. Again, I'm wrapping around the side of my canvas and pushing down on my tape. And I'll be doing the similar kind of step 4 more times. So wrapped around this side, and then I'm gonna push down on my tape. We aren't gonna be coloring the 4 sides of your canvas, so as long as it's wrapped around a little bit, you should be okay. Again, just push down with your finger. I'm gonna choose a second spot to wrap around with my tape. So again, I'm gonna find a space where maybe it creates some cool shapes on my canvas. Wrap it around. Go to the other side. And carefully cut the tape. Push down. Again, you want it to be nice and smooth. You can always peel it off and try again if the tape is acting funny the first time around. I seem to have a lot of bubbles with this one, so I'm just gonna pull a little bit harder, wrap it, then just push down with my fingers. That's 2. Let's go in there 3 more times. I have all this space right here. I think I'm gonna try to cut up some of that space with a piece of tape. Wherever there's gonna be tape, it's gonna be white at the end, so you'll have these white stripes or white strips. Take off the extra. And pull. And be sure every time to push down on your tape, just so that the pastel won't get underneath it. There's 3. Let's see. Where else? I think I'm gonna go maybe this way, diagonal. And again, this is absolutely up to you how you want to design your canvas. And this is more of an abstract creation, so it's not gonna look like anything realistic. It's gonna be more about design, shape, and color. There's 4. And then one more thing I'm gonna do, maybe one that goes up and down like this. I don't have any straight lines, so I might Put a straight line in there. Those are my 5 pieces. Maybe just go over your tape one more time to make sure they're pretty smooth. There you have it. In just a moment, when we use our pastels, you are welcome to add each color wherever you want in each space. We are going to have a variety of thickness and thinness with our lines when we go in there and color them. And remember, we are smudging our pastels to kind of give it a softer feel. And when we go inside each shape, we want to make sure all the lines are going in the same direction. So let's say for this one, I want to go more diagonal. All the other colors will be colored in diagonal. If I want to go more straight in this one, all the lines in this space will be colored in a straight formation. Let's all start with our red. So once you are done with taping, go ahead and grab your red pastel. And then choose a spot where you want to start, and choose if you want it to be thick or thin for your line, and choose which direction you want to go. So I'm just going to start in this space in mine, and I'm going to go more horizontal. I think I want about that thick for that line. And then when I'm done, I'm just going to use my finger to smudge it. If you want, you can always just kind of tap some off, like so. I'm going to keep going with my red. I'm going to go up and down in this shape right here. I'm going to do my best not to go underneath that tape. Maybe just a little bit thicker on this line than my previous one. And just kind of smudge it. I can even have 2 lines of red in a shape. So let's say I just wanted to add a thin line of red inside this space. Then you can see what a big difference just smudging it a little bit with your hand creates. Nice and soft. I go onto this shape in mine. Again, you can choose the next shape that you're going into. Let's see, I might go pretty thick with this one. I might just kind of go all the way up to the point. And I'm just going side to side. Okay, I accidentally went into my other shape. That's okay. I'm gonna maybe put an orange on top of it. It is super smudgy, as you can see. Super smudgy. Kind of let that smudge guide me. So I got some over here. I'm gonna put some red. I'm gonna put some red over here. Smudge it off a little bit. There you go. I'm gonna find another shape. Let's go inside this one. And if you don't have as many shapes as I do, you're welcome to stop. And you don't have to go inside each shape with your red. Again, this is your own design. So you're welcome to kind of go in there as you like. Take your time. Find another spot. Let's see, this shape I'm gonna go side to side. Get it all smudgy. Get all of this off the tape. Yes. Go into this shape. I'm going to do two pretty thin lines in this shape right here. I have all those other colors, so just be aware that you want to leave room for the other colors that we're going to be using. So I might even go down here just off the edge. Sometimes when I add lines, I kind of want to go back into the other shapes and kind of make it all work together to where I like how all the shapes are kind of coming together to make one beautiful piece. All right, maybe just a little bit of this corner. And if you are done with your red, in just a moment we'll all move on to orange for a moment, but it's going to be the same idea where we create our lines, again going in the same direction inside each space. Thick lines versus thin lines. You can have multiple lines of the same color inside each shape. And you'll be smudging, and it's okay if the colors touch too. You can kind of be blending together. If they're side by side, they can have a moment where the two colors are overlapping a little bit. Go over all my red. All right. Next, so I'm gonna put my red aside. I'll be going into my orange. And then I'll have some where it's right next to the red. I'll have some stuff, spaces where there's a little bit of space between the red and the orange. If you need to clean off your finger, you're welcome to clean it off on a paper towel. You can just use another finger. And I'm just smudging, going in the same direction as the lines in this shape. These ones I'm going to leave a little bit of space between each color. This one I'll kind of get closer to the red and then smudge it. Again, I'm using a different finger to smudge. Kind of going into the red a little bit with my orange. There's that blending area where that orange and that red are kind of working together. It looks really pretty, almost like a sunset. Again, you don't have to go into every shape. You can add as many of each color as you want. Remember, you still have yellow, green, blue, and purple. I think I'm gonna be done with my orange, and then I'll jump to my yellow. Again, you can wipe off your fingers on a napkin or just use another finger that's a little bit cleaner to smudge your yellow with. Same idea as your two previous colors. Kind of like your warmer colors. The red, orange, and yellow are all kind of working together. a little bit of orange on there. If it does, if one of your other colors does get onto the color that you just used, you're welcome to just kind of go over it again. Make sure I had a little bit of orange on my finger. And it's not going to look bad. All these colors are working so nicely together. I'll move on to more of my cooler colors here in a moment. Looks really awesome. You can't go wrong. These are all going to work together so nicely. Again, if you wanted to clean your hands, if you wanted to use your other hand now to work with your cooler colors to smudge, I might do that. So let me see. With my blue right here. Just notice a little bit of canvas peeking through right here. I'm going to add just a little bit of blue and smudge it. And by the end of this, by the time we're done with our purple, so we're going to green and then purple, you want to see as little white space as you can inside each shape, because remember, your tape area will be white, so you definitely want your colors to pop out from that tape that we're going to peel off later on. Of course, you're going to notice that it's going to just be a little messier and messier each time with the pastel just kind of flaking away. So again, these are pastels. That's the medium, or that's the tool we're using for our art class. And it's not like pastels, those bright colors. It's the pastel we're using is just kind of like a waxier crown that's easier to like move and soften. Ooh, some of that blue and yellow is creating a green. It's really pretty. Take a step back and see if I'm done with my blue. I think I am. I think I'm gonna move on to green in just a moment. And after green, I'll have purple. So just kind of just be aware that you only have one more color left. Be sure most of your space is just gonna be filled up, unless you want a lot of purple in there. Again, more smudging. This is beautiful. Very messy, but worth it. Almost looks like a beautiful rug. It's really pretty with these patterns. I'm gonna go into my purple, and that'll be my last color. But if you wanted to go back to another color, you're welcome to go back. Even if after adding a couple of areas of purple, if you still have some white spots, you can go in there and add some other colors too. But again, this is abstract. It's all about color and design, and you can create it however you like. I'm just gonna go in there and find those white spots. Ooh. Purple's super dark, so I want to be careful. You have all these powdery flakes everywhere. That's totally fine. It's gonna get messy. Back to this blue a little bit. Slowly, our creation is coming together. This is looking really cool. Let's see. I'm gonna go back to yellow here. Just use a really clean finger to kind of smudge my yellow. I think I'm gonna add, ooh, it's almost like a square here. I think I'm gonna add more yellow here too. Really liking that brightness of the yellow. But again, you can go back and forth to your other colors if you want. think I got it all. I'll double check, make sure I've gotten all those spaces. My blue's having a hard time moving, so I might kind of go back and touch up and soften some of this blue a little bit. Make sure I don't have too much of another color on my finger. Blue's definitely being the hardest to blend, to soften. Ooh, I found a spot that I haven't colored in yet. Let's do purple. That yellow got a little dirty, so I'm just gonna add green right there. Just making it work. All right. I think I got it. Oh, ooh, maybe a little bit right there. Before you peel off your tape, I'm gonna have you guys go through each shape and make sure they're all covered. So again, take your time, but once you're done, just kind of go into each shape, look inside each one, and make sure they're all covered. Just gonna go into each one, make sure. I think I might add a little bit of color right there, more red. Smudge it in. See, this finger is pretty clean. There we go. So cool. What a fun design. And again, I'm sure yours is great as well. Double check. Make sure you have no areas that are peeking through with white. Take your time. I'm going to show you what to do once you're done. You're probably going to want to wipe down your hands. Make sure your hands are not too flaky with color. Wipe it off on a napkin. You have all these loose kind of flakes with the powder, so you just want to be really careful. But once you're done, you're just going to go behind your canvas, and peel off all the tape pieces very carefully. Ooh. Do my best to get that one. Sorry, this is probably not going to be as hard for you. I'm just going to hold it up so you can see it. And if it stops, that's where I would kind of stop with my tape. And you are going to get a little bit of color in there, so don't worry about it. We'll kind of have some come off in just a moment. But it is messy. It is going to happen. Be sure not to smear the front of your canvas. You want to do your best to kind of keep it up from touching anything. That one went all the way through, so I'm going to just pull off that one. That one came. I'm going to just be careful with that one. Maybe find one that kind of overlaps over all of them. I'm going to roll this one over on this piece of tape so it doesn't touch too bad. All right, stay right there. So just carefully peel off the pieces of tape the best you can. Woohoo! That's a good big piece. Again, it is going to keep on getting messy. But it's going to be definitely worth all the messiness. And then if you want, just kind of turn your canvas upside down. You don't want to touch it on the table if you can get some of the powder off on it. If you do have like hairspray at home, that'll help kind of keep your colors on there a little bit better. But again, it is going to get a little bit messy. It's really fun. And it's more about the design versus like the perfection of it. If you wanted to go back later on, if you have white paint at home, you can always go over your strips with white paint. But again, be sure that you have most of the powder off of your canvas so the white paint won't smear with your pastels. Otherwise, your beautiful creation is done. Again, if you need more time, take your time, clean it up if you will. Again, it's going to be a little bit messy, but it's going to be a beautiful pastel creation. Thank you so much, artists. I hope you had fun. Take your time with these. It's definitely going to take a little moment to clean up your hands as well. So don't feel like you should look nice and neat after our project. Artists, I did add a little eraser in there for you if you did want to go in there and kind of clean it up. Forget about that little trick, but I did add an eraser in there for you if you wanted to go in there, kind of clean up your lines a little bit too. So that's another little handy trick you can use to get some of those flakes just off of your line. Perfect. Maybe use a nice clean hand to wipe it off too. And be very careful, you just want to stay inside of your white strips when erasing those lines. But I just remembered, I was like, oh yeah, I remember learning about this in school, using your eraser to kind of clean up those lines. I'm gonna wait till my hand's a little bit cleaner for me to wipe off those little pieces of my erasers, so it's nice and clean area. All right, and now we're done. Thank you so much.